Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Um, I'm gonna do this video just because I realized the importance of being able to work on your cars and fix them yourself, and you know, not relying on ECUs. And this is one of the reasons why it's so much fun to work on old cars and be able to fix them yourself. Versus like a modern car where we would have like an ECU and a drive-by-wire transmission. But I mean, this is awesome. Like, here's my transmission, and I have some more videos on the repair and the issues that I had. But this one here had the shifter. Somebody broke the pin that goes on here, but it was parked out here on my street, and somebody messed with it. I don't know if they were trying to steal it, but nonetheless, the pin got jammed inside. And you'll see in the later segments of this video where the pin was. But this is important. How, I mean, half a day's worth of just fiddling with it, I managed to get it running. So I rethreaded this a hole here, and I made the whole bolt. You'll see it on the next segment how I figured it out. But this is the importance of being able to work on your own cars and why it's so much fun, satisfying, and at the same time it's something that's lost in the new modern cars. So don't be afraid to have an old analog vehicle and be able to just work on it yourself. So make sure you service it too. Like, cars like to be ran and like to be on the road. The minute they sit, they go stale and they go bad. So this is my ambulance, and the ambulance, right now I'm driving it daily, even to job sites. So anyhow, here's the final version of how I repair that bolt. And it literally took like a couple hours to take it apart. The hardest part was removing one bolt over there on the floor. So this is why it's important also to access all your panels, so that when there's an emergency on the trail, all those bolts are not seized together. I broke 3 bolts on that side. There was 1 bolt here that was broken already that somebody had already replaced. So just access your panels, go through it, lube up grease up the transmission forks and all that. Get everything lubed up and know what you're driving. Carry a spare shifter in case you have an issue down the line, and you'll have so much fun driving these for a long time. And knowing that you can repair it and get it back on the road in a matter of hours, it's great. A drive-by-wire, you would need to take it into the dealership, find out if it's just a wire, if it's the transmission itself, who knows, but here it is, like a couple hours and we're back in business. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys enjoy the rest of the segments on how I repair this. See you guys on the next one. Enjoy the process of the repair. Here is this is the second time I had a failure in these vintage Land Rover shifters. So this is the base, this is the shifter, right? You guys are familiar with this. Come on, focus. There we go. So that's the shifter. This one's been repaired. It's a spare that I had here. Somebody gave me this one, and it may have been from one of my 65 that I parted out. Anyways, so I had one break here. There's a video in my playlist, or in my channel here, that broke off of here, and I showed all the parts that you needed to get it back working and putting it back together. It was on my Series 3. So now on the ambulance, I have this problem. Somebody went into my truck and moved this. This is the whole assembly here. So I've already taken this apart. But look at this. Somebody went in there into my truck, opened it up, and the set screw that goes here. Focus. There we go. The bolt, the screw that goes here, the set screw, which is a little nub, a little small little set screw that it was on here. I took it out. But on this truck, I was gonna just put in a new set screw, but I didn't realize that when they moved and they tried to mess with the truck, I don't know if they were trying to steal it. They broke the shifter. I guess that was the anti-theft device that it had on there, very low tech. So the set screw broke off from the threads and jammed itself inside to the. And I was driving it like this. I mean, I was able to kind of figure out. But lately, I've been daily driving my ambulance, and it's been kind of a pain in the neck to drive around with this not registering correctly, especially for reverse. It was hard to get into reverse because of the lockout. So um, this has already been. I noticed that this one's kind of stripped out. The set screw was good, but the aluminum threads on here were already stripping out. Somebody here already did a repair on this one. So what I think I'm gonna do is remove the set screw that was jammed in here, remove it out, and then make a new thread. But the bolt, I'm gonna make it a little longer so I can set it out a little bit and lock it out, probably a little longer with the nut, a jam nut. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rethread it to a bigger thread, and then the set screw that's here, the end of it is gonna be. I'm gonna try to duplicate that little dimension, so it guides the groove here. So stay tuned for the next part. Stand by. Alright guys, so here's how I'm going to do it. So I did a little trial right now. So what I did was I set the bolt that I'm going to be using, and I need to create a little shoulder right here. This is the part that goes in the groove right here that guides the let me see if I can do it one-handed. Yep. This little set screw goes in here, and it only comes out at about maybe a quarter of an inch or so. So this goes in here. So this has to be solid. So what I decided to do is I put the screw in here. It's chucked into the press, and then I'm running the and then I just turn it on and I run it across there and just hold it in place. You know, it's not precise, it's not precision work by any means, but it's actually working. So I'm gonna continue to dial it down, and I'll use a file to there's a little bit of wandering or runoff, as they call it in the machinist world, but I'll be able to get it to within. I mean, this one's already chewed up. I've seen worse. I pulled out another one where it was basically flat on both sides. But anyhow, I'm gonna continue. Obviously, this is a bigger bolt, so I'm gonna have to thread it to the next size up. So let me finish this up, and I'll show you guys how I finished it up. Okay, so I already did I ran it, I got it super close. So now I'm going to, there it goes. So I put the nut in there so I can undo it and it'll clean out the threads. So the idea is that, there it is right there. Here's the bolt. It'll sit in here. I left a little bit of, I almost went to the same dimension. I mean, it's not precise whatsoever. I did take a file while it was on there, and on the chuck, I ran it, and then I cleaned out that corner with the file. I just kind of scraped it, rounded that off, and then rounded off the thread a little bit. So hopefully now when we have this installed, will have the washer, I mean the nut, will actually face against this wall right here, and it'll keep it from wanting to break the thread. So it won't be relying on the threads for strength. It'll have the thread plus the face of the nut pushed against the wall. So the idea is that we can lock it out at the dimension that we want, and at the same time we can go ahead and add some strength by adjusting that dimension, and so it'll work together. Now I have to come in and tap this hole for the new thread. So that'll be the next step. I'll see you back in a few minutes. Stand by. Okay guys, so I'm pretty much done with it. I think it worked out perfect. I'm really happy that this is going to stay true and square, have some extra support from the nut, and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside and see if I can do it one-handed. Oh, okay, I put grease on it. Okay, so sorry if this is, I don't know if, there you go, you can see it right there. There's a set screw. Obviously I set it to a certain depth and then locked it out. So now it should be a matter of just putting back together the spring and mounting it back on the truck. I'm gonna put a little bit of more grease down here. I'm gonna put a little bit of more grease down here, and clean this up and put some red grease on here, tacky grease from Lucas, and then put it back together. I think this was a successful repair, and I hope it'll last longer than just a tiny little set screw that had broken on 2 trucks already. So I hope that you can learn something out of this and maybe pull out that little nub screw, the little set screw, and look at your thread. Make sure that those threads are healthy, and if not, do the repair now before you hit the trails or a long drive. Make sure you have this repaired. And I would honestly have the whole entire assembly redone, just because they tend to break down here after a while from all the drive. I have extras. I carry spares in each truck, so that if it breaks down, I can replace it. Down here, there's some little locking tabs. I might skip those and put maybe like orange Loctite, so they're easily removable, but they won't wiggle away and come off. That's what I'm thinking I might do. Or blue. The blue Loctite also works pretty well. So I'm gonna do that. Because it's easier to remove all this if you ever have a problem on the trail with Loctite than if you have those little tabs. Those tabs are harder to remove if you don't have a chisel or something like that. This way you can just remove it with the blue Loctite. Don't go red. Red will be hell. You'll probably have to heat this up and remove it with a torch. So remember, just blue, but most likely orange is probably your best bet on these Loctites. Anyways, I'll see you guys on the next one. I'll show you maybe a picture of when it's installed, but I think I'm just gonna install it now, and I gotta move the truck tomorrow for street sweeping. So I'll see you guys on the next one.